Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this webinar where we're going to talk about a Monitor ERP system and how we can help manufacturing companies to become more efficient. We're going to take about 40 minutes of your time, and after that, we have a session of Q&A.
Yeah. So if you're during this webinar have any questions or you want to come in contact with us, you can click on the Q&A button and our coworkers will be able to help you and answer all of your questions.
Yes, and we will also hang around after the webinar to answer some of the questions.
That's right.
Yeah. So who are we?
Who are we?
Yeah, my name is Johan Holmsten. I work as the Global Sales and Marketing Manager for Monitor.
I'm Hossein Mohades. People call me Hosse, and I work as Sales Manager for Sweden.
Yeah. All right. So before we dig into this subject of Monitor ERP and talking about how we can help you to optimize your business with our system, we're going to briefly go through our company and give you a short presentation of who we are and some of our background.
Great.
Yeah.
Take it away.
So I hope you see some slides now. And just shortly about us here, we are a company that was established in 1974, so almost 50 years in business now. We are nearly 500 employees in the group now. We have over 5,000 customers using our system, and 300,000 people more or less use our system on a daily basis. Sweden is where we have our headquarters and still our biggest market. We have roughly 50% market share in Sweden.
That's a good job during these 50 years.
Yeah,
every other company.
Yeah. What all these companies have in common is that they are all in manufacturing industry. So 100% manufacturing, that's what we focus on. And besides Sweden, where we have our head office and most of our product development and R&D, we have offices in Finland, in Norway, in Denmark, Germany, Poland, China, Malaysia, Singapore, and also in Indonesia soon. And then we have partners in the 3 Baltic states. So that's where we operate. So we are a global company. So why would you choose Monitor as your ERP system if you are considering that? Well, as we mentioned earlier, we are a ERP system for manufacturing companies. We focus only on supporting and delivering the best functionality for companies in manufacturing. No other branches really. So 100% manufacturing for us. We have a standardized system, meaning that all our customers use the same system. The advantages are that everybody's running the latest version. It's easier to support our customers since that they run the same system. We try to minimize the need of customization as much as possible. And the implementations are also faster and efficient since we are implementing the same system. Also, we are a global system supplier. As we saw, we have presence in many countries, and we can support a global implementation project. And we also have, which we are proud of, the highest customer satisfaction in our business, in ERP business. So we make surveys, and year after year, we see that we are the ERP system that customers are most satisfied with, which is
really nice.
Makes us proud. Some examples of customers that use our system. You probably recognize some of them. Small customers, bigger customers, customers in metal, plastic, electronics, machine builders, furniture producers, companies that have own products, or companies that are contract manufacturers, but they all have in common that they are manufacturing companies.
And everything from privately owned family companies to big public concern groups all over the world. So it doesn't matter. All of them are using Monitor, the same system.
Yes. Okay, if we look a bit into our system and our offer, I said that we are a standard system and we have 6 standard modules: manufacturing, purchase, sales, stock, time recording, and accounting. So these are our modules, and we're gonna soon go into the system and learn more about the modules. But this is basically, you can say, the processes that a manufacturing company has, and we cover all these processes in our standard modules. And on top of the standard modules, the system also comes with some options. And here, depending on your type of industry and needs, we can supply with or we can offer some options like machine integration, product configurator, electronic invoice management, EDI, and so on. So we're not going to go through all of these now, but we are going to cover a few of these during our presentation.
And we've placed these functions as an option just due to keeping the system as standardized as possible, because not all customers need all these options.
No.
But the standard features are all needed by everyone.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
To keep it more simple.
Yes. All right.
Okay. So that was a bit about our background and Monitor as a system. And let's go back to the topic.
Yeah.
Becoming more efficient and how to optimize your productivity and the company.
Yeah. So during this presentation, we're gonna go inside the system, look inside the system. We're gonna show some examples. We're gonna go through a bit of an order flow, you can say, and look at some examples how our system can be a good option, and how we can sort of optimize these processes that you have if you are a manufacturing company.
Precise. So.
All right. Should we look into the system?
I think so.
I'll change screen here. Okay. So what we see now is Monitor, the system, and what I'm also going to do here is to actually shut off the camera, because as you see, the camera or the picture of us takes a bit of
the screen.
Of the screen. So
and the focus is on the screen and not
exactly. So we'll shut off the camera, and you will see more of the system. You can also maximize the picture. I think up in the right corner there's a little button there to maximize it, to see it all over your screen. But okay, this is how Monitor looks like, the system. If you haven't seen it before, the first thing that you see is the dashboard. It's a dashboard that can be configured per user, and you can set up the KPIs that you are responsible for and that you need to follow. So this is a efficient way to follow your KPIs of interest and to maybe make fast decisions. We're going to come back to these to this dashboard a bit later. Also, up in the left corner here, we have the menu with the different modules that we talked about: manufacturing module, purchase module, sales module, and so on. And the menu works like this. So if I click on one of the modules, I'll see all the procedures inside this module. So some words just to follow easier on what we're doing. All right, we're gonna start to talk about order registration when we're getting a sales order from a customer, which is
always nice.
It's always nice, and
that's what we want.
That's what we want: orders from customers. And but it can be time consuming. it's a pleasant job, but it's can be time consuming with a lot of order lines sometimes. And here we have some features in Monitor to optimize and to make this job a little more efficient. One example is if your customer is also using Monitor, then all the orders from the customer will end up in a little inbox on your dashboard like this. This goes through email and XML files that will be attached, standard functionality. But here I can see that we have 8 new orders from customers. So I just double click on one of them here, like that, choosing the first one. And it will open up the purchase order from the customer, or they are buying here 500 plates and 100 attachments. I can also see the actual PDF file. And if I want to just create the order here, I press create button, and it will open up register customer order procedure inside Monitor, and it will enter all these order lines. It was only 2 order lines in our example here, but it could have been more, of course. It will also check, for example, prices. Here I have a little warning sign saying that the price from the imported file was 125. That's what the customer wants to buy it for, but 135 was in our price list. So it will validate some of the information here, which is good. Okay, so this is one way of entering orders into the system if the customer has Monitor.
So what happens if the customer, or what are the options if the customer isn't using Monitor?
Well, of course, I can always register the order manually, but we also have other ways of importing orders. We have EDI functionality, for example. So if the customer is using EDI, that's one way of importing orders and delivery schedules, forecasts, and so on. We also have a web shop. That's one of the options that we have, a web shop. And this is one example from one of our customers. They are producing boats. They don't sell the boats via the web shop, but they have the aftermarket for web shops. So customers can go directly into the web shop and buy. I'll switch to English here, also in the web shop, and buy from the shop. And all this information with the part names and prices and available balance is directly from the system. So when the customer registers an order from the web shop, order will end up automatically directly into Monitor. So it's live integrated. So this is one way of another way of entering orders into Monitor. Another alternative is a portal that we have. And this portal can be used by, for example, sales agents or resellers or service providers, if you're working with that. So they can register orders and quotes directly into the system without having to log on to your system and entering orders that way. So you give them access to the portal, and orders will be entered into your system automatically.
And the fourth way is also that if the customer sends a PDF, we can do automatic recognition on the PDF and provide Monitor with the data as well. So there are many ways to make the order registration functionality much more efficient. So if we go back to this order here, we need to confirm it to the customer, right? But before we do that, how do we, or you want to make sure that we can deliver on time, right? Because they've asked for a delivery date. And how do you confirm that?
The customer has asked for delivery date 3rd of November. And just by doing a press of a button here, I do something called check delivery time, which is a function where the system automatically calculates the best delivery date. So red here indicates that we cannot meet the requirement of the customer 26 and 42 days later. So not so good in this example. But what the system does is a checkup if we have this available on stock, and if not, we simulate a production order and look at available capacity, available material. Do we have material on stock? If not, we have to buy. What is the lead time from the supplier, and so on. So it's a complete simulation of a new manufacturing order to give you the best date. So you give the customers the right expectations already from the beginning, and this is extremely time saving. The options here to check out all this manually is time consuming, or to ask around in the organization. So save a lot of time by doing this.
So using Monitor provides you with data instead of asking for data.
Exactly. So what I do now, maybe I should accept this time, but I just leave it like it is and save. And then I, of course, have a confirmation to the customer, and I can just email that.
Okay, so the customer receives the order confirmation, but it's also really important for us to be able to keep the promises that we made to the customer, that the new date has been confirmed, and we need to keep that promise.
Exactly. Because along the way now, before the delivery, things will happen. People get sick, machines break down, suppliers are late with material, and so we need to constantly check that we can keep our promises and our delivery times. And I have a little gadget here on my desktop that shows the delivery performance. It says delivery performance next week. So Monitor constantly calculates what will be the new delivery time on every open order. So it says here that for next week, we're only going to be able to keep 52% of our promises. If I double click on that, it will open up the orders. And I can see here that for next week, I have 30 orders, but 21 of those are going to be late and some on time. And I can see here by red and green saying that this green one, we're going to actually be able to deliver on time, but the red ones, we are not. And I can dig down into information in here and see why, and be proactive and be able to take action and make sure that we can still deliver on time, or at least give a heads up to the customer.
Okay, so now we have all the information we need regarding the customer order, and we need to take actions here. And so how do we start the production?
Yeah, we have the order in the system. So there are a few ways to start the production. One way, if we produce to order, make to order, like we have with the first order line here, the plate. This is a product that is what we call order oriented, meaning that we can create a manufacturing order directly from the sales order like this. So I can just check this checkbox and save, and the manufacturing order will be created like this. The other option, if the product, like the attachment, is stock driven, meaning that we produce it to stock, then we run a net requirement calculation, and considering what we have in stock, safety stocks, order quantities, and so on, and the result will be what we call manufacturing order suggestions. So this is the production planner's to-do list, where the system constantly gives the production planner suggestions of what new orders to release to production. So here's a list of new suggestions. Green indicates that it's completely new orders, but we also have rescheduling suggestions, meaning that we have an existing order that needs to be rescheduled in or out to meet changed requirements. So here, basically, we just, apply and then create orders directly from here. So a few different ways depending on what type of production you have.
So the system, there's a transparent line here of how everything should work, and it makes us more efficient instead of people walking around within the business or the company informing other staff members to what they should do. But so now when we've released this to production, how does the production team know what they need to do?
Yeah, the how to say, old school way is to print out papers, print out the manufacturing orders and hand it out to production people. But
we don't do that, right? Or our customers normally don't do that.
We try to promote a more digitalized, efficient way. And we want to print out, if papers need to be printed, we want them to be printed out as late as possible. Because one thing that we know is that the customer, they change their mind, and then any printed paper needs to be reprinted. Exactly. So what we promote is to use what we call recording terminals, meaning that we have computers out in the factory, and the workers, when they need to find out what is my next job, they go to this recording terminal, enter the employee number, and every employee is connected to a work center where they normally work. So when I press start work here, this person, Viveka, she works at the assembly department, and this is her tasks or orders. So basically, taking the top one, and this is prioritized by start date. So the one that should start the earliest is on top, but can also be replanned by the or prioritized differently by the planner if there are reasons why something else should be prioritized before.
And that's why a good reason, once again, to not print out the documents.
Exactly.
Because then you would need to print out new ones as it's been reprioritized.
Yeah. So the planner and the workers talk to each other via the system, you can say. Yeah.
Great. So, and also when I've visited a lot of customers that are interested in Monitor, I've seen that they have a lot of whiteboards for their daily production meetings that they have on the production side. So they have their short meeting in the morning to discuss what happened yesterday, what's going to happen tomorrow, or what's going to happen today. And it's a good thing to have that information.
Exactly.
But it feels a little bit not so modern and not so really efficient
with whiteboards.
Yeah. So how does our customers, how do they use it?
We have a function that we call daily management under production planning. And this is you can say it's a digital whiteboard. So instead of using traditional whiteboards, you have a big TV out in the production or by the department. And you can configure the layout of this for different departments. So you have a big TV. Imagine that this is a big TV. I maximize the window here. And so this is the digital whiteboard that we use for daily morning meetings. We have a fixed agenda here, for example, that we can set up what we go through. We look at what happened yesterday or the previous shift. What was the efficiency? We were a bit faster than planned. What was the delivery performance to the next work center? We have quite big lag in this example, and so on. And we can also see what we have ahead of us. So this is, we have 4 work centers on this assembly department. And we can also see the loading for today, how overloaded or if we have capacity over for today. So for example, in the pre-assembly, we have 129%, meaning that we are a bit overloaded. And here we can see the capacity, how much people we have on each on each team here. We have 3 people here and 2 here, and it's also possible to move people around here. And we can see the production plan, what orders should be produced today. If I click on pre-assembly, I can see the orders right here. And it's also actually possible to do some planning here and to delegate work and give out the task to a specific person. So this is our digital whiteboard, and the time saving here is, of course, no preparation is needed. All data is live. You take decisions during the meeting, you make some replanning directly on the whiteboard, and then you go to work.
So when we've had this morning meeting, the production is supposed to start,
Yes.
right? And there's a lot of materials that need to be picked, and it usually involves, once again, when you don't have monitor, it usually involves a lot of paper. So, and a lot of manual work. So how do we help companies to become more efficient with starting the production and the picking, for instance?
Yeah. If we talk about picking, or if we talk about stock or inventory work in general, we do have a app interface for Monitor. So that's what I'm showing now. We are sort of simulating the app in a tablet here. And in this app, there's a lot of different typical inventory transactions that can be made here, like under stock here, to move stock balance and to do stock taking and so on. But under manufacturing module here, we have report pick list. So this is actually picking for production orders. So the workflow here is that we put together a pick list. We have a few different pick lists here. Some pick lists people are already working on, but we can choose one here. We choose pick list number 8, 13 materials. I click on that. So basically what I do is that I start a picking job, and I take the tablet or the device with me, and I have the list of what needs to be picked here, and I do the reporting at the same time. So no need of papers, going back to the office and doing the reporting. I see directly here which part number, what location, how many pieces, and I can just report it like this. So
by swiping to the right.
By swiping this to the right, or entering the right amount, or also I have scanning functionality. So if the device that I'm using is having scanning functionality, I can instead scan the part number and the location just to confirm that I've picked the right pieces. So this is a maybe a little more efficient way of doing picking.
So when you've done the picking and you start the task for today, one very important thing as a manager for the company is to have they want to follow up on production. So reporting back is really important and also essential, because I need to know what happens.
Yeah.
How do we help the management to see what's going on?
Yeah, I go back to the recording terminal and log in as Viveka. So what she's doing here, when she's going to start a new job, she chooses the job and then press start. And what happens then is that time starts ticking.
Yeah.
Time starts counting. And when she's done, she goes back to the recording terminal and enter her employee number again. We can see that this is the open order, and then stop work.
But does she really need to go back to the terminal all the time, or?
This is one way of doing time recording, that we have like a fixed terminal where we go and do the reporting and shared by a lot of people. And I report start and stop, and I'll also report the quantity of how many have been produced, and then press finish, and the time and the quantity will be reported directly by Viveka here. The other option, as you said, is to, if we go back to the app, we also inside this app have time recording. So you can actually bring the recording terminal with you and do your start and stop here in a mobile phone or in a tablet. And when I choose start work here, well, same thing here, a little bit different layout, but we have all the orders in the right priority here. Another advantage by using a tablet like this is that on the orders, all the documents that we have, like drawings, work orders, instructions, and so on, you can see directly in here. So actually, if you have it like this, then you don't even need to print any papers.
Right. So this is depending on how the production line looks like, or how the area looks at different customers. Some people have the stations, and some people have the tablets.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you also have the machine integration when it comes to reporting data. How does
we also have, if we talk about reporting on orders, manufacturing orders, we have an option called machine integration, where we can integrate Monitor with machines. And we can get signals directly from the machines to Monitor, and automatic reporting of time and quantity on manufacturing orders. It comes with a few different interfaces. So there is one interface for the operator, the machine operator, to see what orders are running. You can see how quantities are automatically counted up, and you can see the priority plan for what is going to be the next job, and so on. There is a dashboard with an overview of all the machines to see which machines are running, which ones are not running. There is also an app, so you can see it in your mobile phone, for example, which machines are running and not running. So when the machines stop, Monitor or machine integration here asks you to set a stop reason, which means that you can have a stop time follow-up and on the machines, and you can follow the overall efficiency on your machines as well.
And it can also send you warnings, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when a machine stops, it sends a warning or a notification to your mobile phone or to your Apple Watch
and then
so you can take action.
And then you can come running back.
Exactly.
In an efficient way.
Exactly.
So we've talked a bit about orders and reporting, and if we look at the finance department, one way of optimizing and making the finance department more efficient is that when the supplier has sent the material, they always normally also send an invoice.
Yes.
So not so much fun as a customer order, but they send an invoice, and the invoice needs to be handled. So one way for us to make the finance department more efficient is that we can automatically match the invoice with the purchase order on line item level. So if everything is correct, the invoice can go and be finalized automatically without anyone touching the invoice.
Exactly.
But I think we have an example here where you can see how an electronic invoice has been received directly into Monitor, and this is a non-purchase order invoice.
Yeah, so if I have invoices for approval, I will see those on my desktop. So this is for me to approve, and I can just double click on one of them, and it will open up the supplier invoice, and I can view it, and I can do the posting, and then just confirm it.
And so this is an electronic invoice with all of the supplier and the invoice information is already extracted and presented for the user. So the only thing the user needs to do here is to do the posting with accounting and send it to approval.
Yep.
So by seeing all of this information that we provided here, it creates a lot of data and a lot of decision-making data, and that's one of the most important things with an ERP, right? to be able to make correct and fast decisions based on correct data.
That's true. That's true. So Monitor, as we said, is a standard system. It means that up here in the menu, there's hundreds of different reports to follow up your business. We also looked at the different KPIs that you can see on the dashboard here, and I can actually double click on many of them to drill down further. For example, I want to see where this fantastic order inflow increase comes from. I can just double click on this, and it will open up a BI view where I can drill down and see, okay, Sweden looks like a lot of orders come from, and I can drill down and see customers and so on. So this is one way of viewing statistics or statistical data in the system. I can take a few other examples. We see here we have the loading situation week by week. If I double click on that, it will open up the loading plan, and I can drill down further and see more information about each work center and each manufacturing order. I can, in the menu here, let's take another example, invoicing log, which is sales statistics. I do my selection, my filter here, and then I choose display list, and I can see here the sales per customer, the sales amount, the cross margin, how much money we make on each customer. And I can drill down and go down further to each order line and each part number that has been sold on every invoice. So a lot of information can be taken out from the system, which is the basis for making decisions. And our concept is that Monitor comes with standard reports, so it doesn't have to be customized for each project and each of our customer.
So thanks, Johan. And so that has been a quite short and fast overview regarding Monitor.
Yeah.
We have just scratched the surface.
Yes.
And we hope that what we've shown have been interesting and been somehow informative for you guys to see how you can optimize your business with Monitor and be more productive.
Yeah. And if you want to see more, if you found this interesting and you want to learn more about Monitor and how we can support your company, please feel free to contact us. We will leave our contact information on a slide here afterwards.
And if you have more questions or you have questions that have occurred during this presentation, the Q&A will still be open for us to be able to answer your questions.
Yeah.
So you can see our contact information here in the slides to come right there.
There it is.
I don't know if it's on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side, but still, anyways, you see the contact information there.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Good job, Johan.
From us.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.